Family comes first. That's what they texted me while the blood on my face was still wet. He took my $20,000 emergency fund for a lie. Then, when I asked for it back, he hit me and told everyone I struck him first. My mother believed him. My siblings called me unstable. So I turned on the lights, gathered every piece of evidence, and invited the law to dinner. Tonight. He'll learn what family comes first really means. My name is Ava Dalton, and I've been the reliable one in my family for as long as I can remember. 28 years old, dental assistant at Summit Ridge Dental here in Riverton, Colorado, single, no kids, just me and my carefully planned future, or so I thought until that Tuesday morning when my phone buzzed at 6:45 Mom's text lit up my screen. Royce's business hit a cash flow problem. Can you help for a week? I stared at those words while my coffee grew cold. The amount she mentioned in her follow-up text, exactly $20,000. The same $20,000 I'd scraped together over 3 years, split between a high-yield savings account and 2 CDs, earmarked for a house down payment. This wasn't the first small favor they'd asked for. There was the $5,000 for Maya's college emergency that turned out to be shopping debt, the $3,000 for Kellen's car repair that somehow became a motorcycle down payment. Neither ever paid back. Both dissolved into family dinners where any mention of money got me labeled as keeping score or not understanding what family means. But $20,000, that was my entire future sitting in those accounts. Royce called while I was reviewing patient charts. His voice had that practiced smoothness he used when selling outdoor equipment at his shop. Harlan Outdoor and Fleet. It's just bridge capital, kiddo. Business is booming, but I've got inventory stuck in customs. 7 days, 10 max. I'll even write you a promissory note. I need to think about it, I said, my hand trembling slightly as I gripped the phone. Your mother's worried sick, he added, the guilt landing exactly where he aimed it. This could ruin us if we can't cover the warehouse payment. Mom called an hour later, her voice cracking with carefully placed emotion. Ava, honey, we've never asked you for anything this big, but Royce has worked so hard building this business. He's been more of a father to you than your real dad ever was. That last part stung, as she knew it would. My biological father left when I was 7. Royce married Mom when I was 15, hardly father figure territory, but Mom loved revising history. I'll have him sign a formal repayment agreement, she promised. 14 days maximum. I'll personally guarantee it. By lunch, I was exhausted from the mental gymnastics. Jules Ortega, my best friend who worked as a barista and freelance photographer, found me stress-eating a sad desk salad. Let me guess, Jules said, studying my face. The Harlan Financial Crisis. Episode 20. 20,000 this time. Jules whistled low. Your house fund, Ava. No. You know how this story ends. I did know. But there I was at 4:30 p.m., sitting in my credit union, authorizing a wire transfer to Harlan Outdoor and Fleet's business account. The teller, who'd helped me open my first savings account at 16, gave me a concerned look. Big purchase, she asked gently. Family investment, I replied, the words tasting like ash. Royce texted me a photo of his handwritten promissory note that evening. One line, I owe you $20,000 payback in 14 days. R. Harlan. Mom sent a string of heart emojis and, you're saving us. I sat in my apartment that night, staring at my account balances checking $843, savings 0, CDs cashed out with early withdrawal penalties, 3 years of 12-hour shifts, weekend overtime, and skipped vacations, transferred away in 5 minutes. Jules had warned me to always record important conversations after her own family drama. If only I'd listened then. If only I'd known what was coming in exactly 15 days. Day 15 arrived with another excuse. Customs released the inventory late, Royce explained over the phone, his voice irritatingly casual. Another week, tops. You know how government agencies are. Day 30 brought a new story. Had to use the funds to cover urgent supplier debt, but the holiday sales will clear everything. Meanwhile, I was eating ramen and canceling my gym membership to make rent. That evening, I pulled up the Colorado Secretary of State business database on my laptop. Harlan Outdoor and Fleet LLC showed as delinquent for the previous quarter's tax filing. The same day, he claimed poverty. Royce had posted photos on Facebook, 2 brand new ATVs gleaming in his driveway with the caption, "Sometimes you gotta treat yourself dar business owner perks." My hands shook as I screenshotted everything. The confrontation happened on day 32, a Thursday evening at 7:15 p.m. I drove to Mom's house, the one Royce had moved into after their marriage, the one where I'd spent my teenage years. The familiar porch light flickered as I climbed the steps, my phone already recording in my pocket. Jules had drilled this into me after her own family tried to gaslight her. Always record, always protect yourself. Mom answered the door, her smile faltering when she saw my expression. "Ava, honey, what brings you?" "We need to talk about my money." Royce appeared behind her, filling the doorway with his 6'2" frame. He wore his usual uniform of company polo and jeans, playing the successful small business owner even at home. "Your money. You mean the family investment." "I mean my $20,000 that was supposed to be paid back 18 days ago." His jaw tightened. "Lower your voice. The neighbors don't need to hear our business." "Then let's discuss the repayment schedule," I said, stepping inside despite him blocking the doorway. Inside, the living room smelled like pot roast and lies. Mom wrung her hands while Royce stood between me and the hallway, arms crossed. "That money is tied up in inventory. You'll get it when you get it. The inventory you posted about selling great through the holidays, or the 2 ATVs you bought with my—" The slap came fast. His palm connected with my left cheek, snapping my head sideways. I stumbled backward, catching myself on the coffee table as pain exploded across my face. My hand came away from my mouth with blood. "Royce." Mom's gasp filled the sudden silence. I tried to stand straight, but he shoved me. This time I went down hard, my shoulder slamming into the entertainment center. Something crashed picture frames. Maybe. The taste of copper filled my mouth where my teeth had cut the inside of my cheek. Kellen and Maya rushed in from the kitchen, their faces shifting from confusion to alarm. Maya's hand flew to her mouth. "Oh my God, Ava's bleeding." That's when Royce transformed. His whole demeanor shifted like flipping a switch. He stepped back, cradling his hand, wincing theatrically. "She hit me. You all saw it. She came at me swinging when I told her about the payment delay. I was just defending myself." "What?" I struggled to my feet, dizzy, blood dripping onto Mom's cream carpet. Mom saw it." Royce interrupted, his voice steady and forceful, drowning out my words. He turned to my mother, who stood frozen. "Pam, tell them. She struck me first." Mom's eyes darted between us. Between her daughter's bloody face and her husband's commanding stare, Yes. Ava did seem aggressive." "Mom." The word came out as a sob. "He hit me. You saw him hit me." "I saw you get in his face," Mom said quietly, not meeting my eyes. "You've been so stressed about money lately. Maybe you should go home and calm down." Kellen looked uncertain, but Royce's voice filled the space again. "She's been unstable since the transfer, calling constantly, making threats. I have the texts." What texts? I'd barely contacted him at all, trying to give him space. But I could see my siblings absorbing his version, their faces shifting from shock to something worse, pity, like I was having some kind of breakdown. "You need help, Ava," Maya whispered. "This isn't like you." I left, driving with one hand while holding a drive-through napkin to my split lip. The recording captured everything: Royce's admission about the money, the sound of the slap, his immediate lies. 2 minutes and 43 seconds that would change everything. But first, I sat in my car in the darkness, tasting blood and betrayal, while my phone lit up with messages from the family group chat, praying for Ava's mental health. From Mom. Violence is never the answer. From Kellen. Royce had already rewritten history. Now it was my turn to write the ending. The family group chat exploded within hours. Please pray for our family during this difficult time. Mom posted on Facebook at 9:43 p.m. Carefully vague enough to invite concern, but specific enough to paint me as the problem. Sometimes the people we love most need help seeing their own struggles. 47 reactions. Dozens of comments. What happened? Pam. Praying for healing. Family troubles are the hardest. Royce played his part perfectly. At 10:15 p.m., he sent me a Venmo payment for $200 with a note, starting to pay back what I can. Despite everything, family helps family. Screenshot posted to the group chat. Naturally. Maya hearted it. Kellen added, "That's really big of you after what happened." Then came the photo at 11 p.m. Royce's forearm with faint red marks, the kind you'd get from scratching yourself repeatedly. Didn't want to share this, but people should know the truth. I'm not pressing charges because she's family, but violence is never okay. I sat in the emergency room at Riverton General, methodically documenting everything. The triage nurse, a woman named Maribel Knox with kind eyes and steady hands, photographed my split lip, swollen cheek, and the bruising already forming along my shoulder. "Domestic incident," she asked quietly. "My stepfather. And yes, I want everything documented." She nodded, taking extra photos from multiple angles. "Good for you, honey. We see too many who don't." The doctor's examination was thorough: contusions to the left facial area, laceration to the inner cheek requiring 2 stitches, severe bruising to the right shoulder. Every detail went into the medical record. File number RGH 497823. I memorized it. Jules met me at the hospital at 1:30 a.m., bringing a change of clothes and her laptop. "I pulled the audio from your phone. It's clear as day. You can hear the slap, the thud when you hit the furniture, and Royce saying, 'You'll get it when you get it,' about the money. Is it enough?" "More than enough. But first, let's make copies of everything." We worked through the night. By sunrise, I had the full audio file backed up to 3 cloud services, medical records and photographs from the ER, screenshots of Royce's business filing showing delinquent status, the Facebook posts about the ATVs with timestamps, bank records showing my wire transfer, the pathetic handwritten IOU every text message, including Mom's original request. At 8 a.m., I walked into the Riverton Police Department. Sergeant Dana Brooks, a veteran officer with silver threading through her dark hair, took my statement. She listened to the audio twice, her expression growing grimmer each time. "This is clear assault," she said. "The audio corroborates your injuries, and this business about the money that's potential fraud and coercion. My family says I attacked him first. Your family wasn't recording. You were—" She leaned forward. "Do you want to press charges?" "Yes." The case number was RPD 2024-8847. Another number to memorize. Another step toward truth. My phone buzzed constantly. "Mom, Ava, let's handle this as a family. No need for police." Kellen, "You're really going to ruin Royce's business over a misunderstanding." Maya, "This is going too far. He's trying to pay you back $200 out of $20,000. Such generosity." I stopped at my credit union next. The branch manager, Trent Lawson, reviewed my case. Wire transfers are generally irreversible, but with a police report for assault and fraud, plus evidence of business misrepresentation, we can file a formal complaint. It might help in civil court. Do it. That afternoon, I met with Vanessa Pike, an attorney Jules had researched. Her office was small but meticulous. Every file labeled, every surface organized. She reviewed my evidence for 40 minutes without speaking, occasionally making notes. "This is one of the clearest cases I've seen," she finally said. "The audio is damning. The medical records support your version. The financial paper trail shows deliberate deception." She pulled out a legal pad. We're filing for an emergency protective order today and a civil suit for recovery of funds tomorrow. The criminal case will proceed separately. My mother will say, "Your mother can say whatever she wants. The evidence speaks louder." Vanessa's eyes were sharp. "They're counting on you backing down to keep the peace. Are you prepared to go all the way?" Mom texted again while I sat in that office. "If you drop this, we'll work out a payment plan. Don't destroy our family." Our family. As if family meant letting someone beat you and steal your future. "I'm ready," I told Vanessa. "Good. Because once we file, there's no taking it back. Royce is about to learn that actions have consequences." As we prepared the paperwork, my phone showed 17 missed calls from Mom, 12 from Royce, and a new public Facebook post. Some people would rather involve strangers than work through family problems with love and forgiveness. Praying for our daughter's heart to soften. Vanessa glanced at it and smiled grimly. "Save that. It's consciousness of guilt trying to pressure you publicly. Judges love seeing manipulation tactics." By 5 p.m., the emergency protective order was filed. By 6 p.m., Royce would be served. The war for my $20,000 and my truth had officially begun. Vanessa Pike worked with the precision of a surgeon. Within 24 hours, she'd filed the emergency protective order, naming both my home address and Summit Ridge Dental as protected locations. "He can't come within 250 feet of you, your workplace, or contact you through third parties," she explained. "That includes having your mother do his talking." The civil demand letter went out via certified mail to Harlan Outdoor and Fleet LLC at 8 a.m. sharp. Vanessa had crafted it beautifully, 3 pages outlining fraudulent inducement, promissory estoppel, and conversion of assets. The key line, "Return the full $20,000 within 72 hours or face immediate civil action, including treble damages." Treble damages. I asked. Colorado law allows us to seek 3 times the amount for theft by deception. $60,000 tends to get people's attention. Trent Lawson at the credit union escalated my case to their fraud department. Even though wire transfers weren't covered under Regulation E, the combination of the police report, civil filing, and evidence of LLC misuse triggered their internal review process. "We're freezing any accounts associated with Harlan Outdoor and Fleet pending investigation," he informed me. "If he's been commingling personal and business funds, that's bank fraud," Sergeant Brooks called that afternoon. "Mr. Harlan needs to present himself for questioning within 48 hours, or we'll issue a warrant. The charges are simple assault and harassment for now, but the DA's office is reviewing for potential escalation." The machine was moving, each gear turning precisely. Mom's texts grew frantic. They served papers at Royce's work. His employees saw everything. Then, "The bank froze the business accounts. You're destroying an innocent man." Finally, "If you don't stop this right now, you're no longer welcome in this family." I screenshot each message, forwarding them to Vanessa. "Perfect," she said. "She's admitting she knows about the EPO but is still trying to contact you on his behalf. That's a violation." Jules helped me organize everything into a comprehensive timeline. We created a master document with every piece of evidence indexed and cross-referenced. The audio file was transcribed professionally, each word time-stamped. Maribel Knox from the ER provided a detailed medical statement beyond the standard records. At the dental office, Dr. Patterson, my boss, pulled me aside. "Ava, I heard what happened. Take whatever time you need. And if that man shows up here, we're calling the police immediately." The entire staff had my back. Small-town dental assistants don't play when one of their own is hurt. 49 hours after being served, Royce hired an attorney, some budget lawyer named Craig Hoffman, who specialized in DUIs and traffic tickets. Hoffman immediately filed a motion to dismiss the EPO, claiming misunderstanding between family members and no credible threat exists. Vanessa laughed when she saw it. "He attached Royce's injuries as evidence. Those scratches I've seen deeper marks from a house cat. Wait until the judge hears the audio." The criminal case moved forward. Sergeant Brooks interviewed the neighbors. Mrs. Chen from next door, who'd lived there for 15 years, provided a sworn statement. I heard shouting and a crash around 7:20 Ava left looking injured. I've never seen her violent in all the years I've known the family. Even better, Royce had made crucial mistakes. His Facebook posts claiming I attacked him were timestamped at 10:53 p.m., but his first injury photos metadata showed it was taken at 6:45 p.m., before I'd even arrived at the house. Vanessa had a digital forensics expert verify this. He scratched himself before you got there, she said, amazed. He planned to claim assault no matter what happened. The 72-hour deadline for the civil demand came and went. No payment, just a rambling email from Hoffman about family mediation and miscommunication regarding a loan. A loan? Vanessa snorted. With what terms? What interest rate? Where's the documentation? They're panicking. She filed the civil suit seeking $20,000 in actual damages, $40,000 in punitive damages, plus attorney fees. The court clerk date-stamped it at 4:17 p.m. on a Friday, ensuring Royce would be served at his business on Monday morning in front of customers and employees. Meanwhile, the credit union's investigation bore fruit. They'd found 6 instances in the past year where Royce had moved money between personal and LLC accounts to avoid tax reporting. They'd also discovered he'd used the business account to pay for the ATVs, claiming them as inventory on his books. We're filing a suspicious activity report with the Treasury Department, Trent informed me. This goes way beyond your situation. Mom tried one more time, leaving a voicemail at 2 a.m. Ava, sweetheart, if you withdraw everything, Royce will pay you back in installments. $500 a month for 40 months? Please. He's talking about losing the business. Maybe jail time. Is that what you want to destroy your father? My father. The man who bloodied my face over money he stole. I saved that voicemail too. Evidence of witness tampering, Vanessa called it. By the end of the week, I had an active EPO protecting me for the next 12 months. A criminal case moving toward prosecution, a civil lawsuit filed with evidence of fraud, a credit union fraud investigation in progress, a suspicious activity report triggering federal review, a family imploding under the weight of their own lies. And I was just getting started. The temporary protective order hearing was set for 9 a.m. on a Tuesday. I arrived early with Vanessa, wearing my most professional outfit navy blazer, gray slacks, minimal makeup that didn't hide the fading bruise on my cheek. Let them see what he did, Vanessa had advised. Royce entered the courtroom at 8:55 with Hoffman and what he clearly thought was a trump card, Pastor William Brennan from their church, there as a character witness. Mom followed, clutching tissues she'd never need. Kellen and Maya sat in the back row, Maya avoiding eye contact while Kellen typed on his phone. Judge Catherine Morales, a woman in her 60s with sharp eyes behind wire-framed glasses, reviewed the filings. This is a hearing for a temporary protective order. Mr. Hoffman, does your client contest? We do. Your Honor, this is a family disagreement blown out of proportion. My client is willing to participate in family counseling. I'll hear from the petitioner first. Vanessa stood. Your Honor, we have clear evidence of assault. She handed the clerk a USB drive. This audio recording captures the entire incident. The courtroom fell silent as my phone recording played. Royce's voice, clear and menacing. You'll get it when you get it. The sound of the slap, sharp, unmistakable. My cry of pain. The crash as I hit the entertainment center. Then, Royce's immediate lie. She hit me. Mom's hands trembled. Pastor Brennan shifted uncomfortably. There's more, Vanessa continued, submitting the medical records, photographs, and then the metadata analysis. Mr. Harlan photographed his supposed defensive wounds at 6:45 p.m., a full 30 minutes before Ms. Dalton arrived at 7:15. He pre-planned his false accusation. Hoffman scrambled. There could be a phone clock error. Your Honor, Vanessa interrupted. We also have a neighbor's statement confirming the time and Ms. Dalton's injured state upon leaving. Judge Morales turned to Royce. Mr. Harlan, Would you like to explain how you sustained injuries before the alleged altercation? Royce's mouth opened and closed. Maybe the phone time was wrong. And the audio is that fabricated too. Silence. I've heard enough. The temporary protective order is granted for 12 months. Mr. Harlan, you are prohibited from coming within 250 feet of Ms. Dalton, her residence, or her place of employment. No contact, direct or through third parties. She looked pointedly at my mother. That includes having family members convey messages. Violation is a criminal offense. Your Honor. Hoffman tried. The parties have a financial dispute, which will be handled in civil court. The protection order stands regardless of any monetary matters. Mr. Harlan, you will surrender any firearms within 24 hours. But, Your Honor, I run a hunting supply store. Then you'll need to make arrangements. 24 hours. As we left the courtroom, Pastor Brennan approached me. Ava, forgiveness is divine. So is justice. Vanessa cut in. And your presence here after hearing that recording is noted. Mom tried next, tears finally flowing. Ava, please. He's already getting threatening calls from creditors. The business. Ma'am. Vanessa stepped between us. You're violating the protective order right now by conveying messages from Mr. Harlan. The criminal prosecutor, Ada Jennifer Knox, contacted me that afternoon. Mr. Harlan has been formally charged with third-degree assault and harassment. After hearing the audio and reviewing the evidence, we're confident in conviction. Has he reached out since the EPO? Not directly, but my mother. Document everything. Each violation is a separate charge. 2 days later, the civil case management conference happened. Royce's attorney tried to argue for dismissal, claiming the money was a gift between family members. Judge Robert Hayes, reviewing the evidence, almost laughed. A gift that came with a promissory note, and Mr. Harlan's text messages reference repayment multiple times. Motion denied. Discovery begins immediately. Discovery meant Royce had to turn over his financial records, bank statements, tax returns, business documents, everything. Vanessa issued subpoenas with surgical precision. Wells Fargo for the business accounts, Chase for personal accounts, the Colorado Department of Revenue for tax records, the ATV dealership for purchase records, Prairie Siding and Decks for the mysterious payment from my money. He can't hide anything now, she explained. Lying in discovery is perjury. The family pressure intensified. Maya left a voicemail crying about how Royce might go to jail, how Mom was drinking more, how everything was falling apart. You got your protection order. Can't you just drop the rest? Kellen texted, Mom says Royce is willing to pay back $10,000 if you drop everything. That's half. Take it. Half of my stolen money to let him walk away. No. Then came the bombshell. Hoffman filed a motion claiming I had unclean hands, that I'd known the money was for personal use, not business, making me complicit in tax fraud. He's really claiming you helped him commit fraud. Vanessa shook her head. This is desperation. And stupidly, he just admitted in a legal filing that he used the money for personal expenses. He confessed to conversion. At the next hearing, Judge Hayes was not amused. Mr. Hoffman, your client just admitted to misusing funds given for business purposes. How does that help your case? We withdraw the motion, Your Honor. I should hope so. And Mr. Hoffman, advise your client that further frivolous motions will result in sanctions. Outside the courthouse, Royce looked smaller, older. His business polo was wrinkled, his usual swagger gone. He started toward me, stopped by Hoffman's hand on his arm, remembering the protective order. But his eyes said everything. This isn't over. He was right. It wasn't. But not the way he thought. The subpoenaed records arrived like Christmas morning for Vanessa. She spread them across her conference table, and we traced every dollar of my $20,000. The pattern was damning and immediate. Look at this. She pointed to the business account statement. Your wire transfer hit at 4:47 p.m. at 5:15 p.m. the same day. He wrote a cashier's check for $11,000 to High Country Motorsports. The check memo line read, inventory. But High Country Motorsports didn't sell hunting supplies, they sold ATVs, motorcycles, and jet skis. The invoice Vanessa subpoenaed showed the truth 2 Polaris ATVs for personal use, delivered to Royce's home address, not the store. Here's another, I found, stomach churning. $5,000 cash withdrawal at 5:32 p.m. from the ATM. Then another $2,000 the next morning, maximum daily limits. Cash is hard to trace. But look, Vanessa pulled up his personal account. Same-day deposits. He literally walked the cash from the business ATM to the personal account ATM, amateur hour. The Prairie siding and decks payment was the most insulting. $4,000, paid the day after my transfer, for a deck renovation at Royce's house. The contractor's invoice clearly stated, residential improvement, 1247 Mountain View Drive. His home, not the business. He stole your house down payment to improve his own house, Vanessa said quietly. The irony is staggering. The credit union's fraud investigation had escalated. Trent called with an update. We've completed our review. While we can't reverse the wire transfer, we're closing all Harlan Outdoor and Fleet accounts for violation of our terms of service. We're also filing a report that will flag him in the banking system. He'll have trouble opening accounts anywhere. What about criminal charges for bank fraud? That's up to federal prosecutors, but we're recommending it. The pattern of commingling funds and false representations on his business applications is clear. Jules had been busy too. She'd found Royce's Yelp and Google reviews for Harlan Outdoor and Fleet mostly positive until recently. But in the past 2 weeks, 3 new 1-star reviews appeared. Owner is a thief. Assault charges pending, avoid, and beats women and steals money. I didn't write these, I told Vanessa. Neighbors talk. Court records are public. His reputation is crumbling on its own. The discovery documents also revealed Royce's true financial picture. Despite his successful businessman image, Harlan Outdoor and Fleet was drowning. $60,000 in credit card debt, 3 months behind on the commercial lease, a $70,000 SBA loan in default. My $20,000 hadn't gone to inventory stuck in customs. It went to keeping his sinking ship afloat 1 more month. He's been playing financial Jenga, Vanessa explained. Robbing Peter to pay Paul, and you were the latest Peter. More interesting details emerged. The LLC had never filed proper tax returns, just extensions. He'd been reporting massive losses while living a lifestyle that suggested otherwise new trucks, boats, ATVs, home renovations. The IRS would be very interested. Should we report this? I asked. Already did. Form 3949A. Information referral for potential tax fraud. The IRS pays whistleblower rewards. By the way, if they collect based on your information, you could receive up to 30% of what they recover. Mom called from a different number, trying to circumvent my block. I let it go to voicemail. The stress is killing him. Ava. He's had chest pains. The doctor says it's anxiety attacks. How can you do this to your family? That money was supposed to help the business that supports all of us. Supports all of us. I'd been supporting myself since I was 18. The only thing Royce ever gave me was trauma and a bloody lip. Then came the doorbell camera footage. Jules had been relentless, canvassing the neighborhood. Mrs. Patterson, 3 houses down from Mom's, had a Ring camera that captured the street. The timestamp showed me arriving at 7:14 p.m., walking normally. At 7:38 p.m., I'm seen leaving, hunched over, holding my face, stumbling slightly. 24 minutes. Vanessa calculated. That matches your audio recording perfectly. No reasonable person could claim self-defense lasted 24 minutes. We also discovered Royce had been planning this longer than we thought. 2 weeks before asking for my money, he'd applied for 3 personal loans and been rejected by all. He'd tried to get a second mortgage on the house denied. He'd even applied for a dozen credit cards in a single day, getting approved for only 2 with $1,000 limits. You were his last resort, Vanessa said. When legitimate lenders said no, he turned to family he could manipulate. The most damaging discovery came from an unexpected source. Hoffman had subpoenaed my phone records to try to prove I'd been harassing Royce with calls about repayment. Instead, they showed I'd called him exactly twice in 30 days. But Royce's phone records, also subpoenaed, showed something else: 43 calls to a number in Vegas the week before he took my money. Vanessa tracked it down. It's a sports betting hotline. Want to guess why he really needed $20,000 in cash so urgently? Gambling debts? He'd stolen my future to pay off bookies. This changes everything, she said, pulling up her laptop. Gambling debts plus assault plus theft equals a very motivated prosecutor, and in civil court, no jury in Colorado will side with a gambling addict who beat his stepdaughter to avoid paying back stolen money. As we compiled this evidence mountain, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. You win. Full payment plus your medical bills if you drop everything. R. Vanessa smiled like a shark. He's breaking, but we're not done. Forward that to me, it's another protective order violation, and essentially a confession. He just admitted he owes you everything. The criminal plea hearing was scheduled for 10 a.m. on a Thursday. ADA Jennifer Knox had called the night before. He's taking a deal. We've offered 18 months probation, anger management, and full restitution if he pleads guilty to assault. Otherwise, we go to trial with everything: the audio, the medical records, the doorbell footage, the metadata proving premeditation. What about jail time? Suspended sentence if he completes all requirements. But Ava, one violation and he serves 6 months. And he has to allocute admit in court exactly what he did. I arrived early, sitting with Vanessa in the front row. The courtroom filled gradually neighbors who'd heard about the case, a reporter from the Riverton Gazette, and Jules with her camera courthouse approved for documentation. Mom entered with Kellen and Maya, sitting across the aisle. She looked older, grayer, smaller. Royce was brought in wearing a suit that had seen better days. The confident businessman facade was gone, replaced by something desperate and cornered. Hoffman whispered urgently in his ear as Judge David Richardson took the bench. Mr. Harlan, I understand you wish to change your plea. Royce stood slowly. Yes, Your Honor. You understand that by pleading guilty, you waive your right to trial. Yes. Ada Knox, please state the terms of the plea agreement. Jennifer Knox stood. The state recommends 18 months supervised probation, completion of a 52-week domestic violence intervention program, full restitution to the victim including $20,000 principal, $3,800 in medical expenses, and $12,000 in legal fees. Additionally, a suspended sentence of 6 months incarceration to be imposed if any terms are violated. Mr. Harlan, do you understand these terms? Yes. Then please allocute, tell the court what you did. This was the moment. Royce gripped the podium, his knuckles white. The room held its breath. On April 15th, at approximately 7:20 p.m., He paused, swallowing hard. I struck Ava Dalton with my hand. She did not hit me first. She had not touched me. I hit her because she was asking about money I had borrowed from her. Borrowed? Judge Richardson's voice was sharp. Mr. Harlan, did you use this money as you'd represented to Ms. Dalton? Hoffman started to object, but Royce was already talking. No. I told her it was for business inventory, but I used it for personal expenses. So you obtained the money through false pretenses. Yes. And when she asked for repayment, you physically assaulted her. Yes. Then claimed she attacked you first. A long pause. Mom's quiet sob filled the silence. Yes. Judge Richardson reviewed the papers before him. Mr. Harlan, I'm inclined to reject this plea. The courtroom stirred. Hoffman jumped up. Your Honor, you admitted to assault, fraud, and false reporting. The only reason I'm considering this agreement is that Ms. Dalton has indicated through the prosecutor that she wants to move forward with her life rather than endure a trial. But let me be clear, one violation, even a day late on restitution, and you'll serve the full sentence. Is that understood? Yes. Your Honor. Additionally, the protective order remains in full effect. The restitution must be paid within 72 hours through the court clerk. You will have no contact with Ms. Dalton, not even to hand her a check. Failure to pay is a violation of this plea agreement. But, Your Honor, Hoffman interjected, my client needs time to liquidate assets. Your client has ATVs worth $11,000 and just received payment for a deck renovation he can't afford. 72 hours, or he serves 6 months. Court is adjourned. The gavel came down with finality. Outside the courtroom, chaos erupted. The reporter approached for a comment, but Vanessa waved her off. Mom tried to approach but stopped, remembering the protective order. Her mouth opened and closed soundlessly, tears streaming. Maya broke away from the family group, walking quickly to catch me at the elevator. Ava, wait. I turned, Vanessa tensing beside me. I'm sorry, Maya whispered quickly, glancing back at Mom and Royce. I knew something was off that night. I should have spoken up. I was just scared of him, of breaking the family. The family was already broken, I said quietly. She nodded, tears starting. I know. I'm moving back to campus. I can't live there anymore. Watching Mom pretend nothing happened. She pressed something into my hand, a flash drive. Royce's computer auto-backs up to the cloud. These are screenshots from 2 weeks before he took your money. Gambling sites, loan applications, and an email draft to you he never sent. Calling you a spoiled bitch who owes the family anyway. Before I could respond, she hurried back to Mom and Kellen, who were supporting Royce as he walked unsteadily toward the exit. 71 hours later, a certified check for $35,800 was delivered to the court clerk. Vanessa confirmed receipt and filing of satisfaction for the criminal restitution. The ATVs had been sold at a loss. The debt contractor had been convinced to refund half the payment. Royce had liquidated his gun collection and sold his prize bass boat. It's done, Vanessa announced, handing me my own certified check from the court. Every penny recovered, plus expenses. But it wasn't quite done. The IRS had opened their investigation. The credit union's criminal referral was working through federal channels, and Harlan Outdoor and Fleet, unable to get banking services and hemorrhaging customers, would file for bankruptcy within 3 months. I deposited the check into my newly opened high-yield savings account at a different credit union. The house fund was restored. But some things trust. Family. The ability to hear sudden noises without flinching, those would take longer to rebuild. The bank teller slid the certified check across the marble counter at 4:23 p.m. on a Friday. $35,800, drawn from the court's restitution account. Every penny recovered, plus medical expenses, plus legal fees. My hands didn't shake as I endorsed it for deposit into my new account at Mountain Valley Credit Union, different bank, fresh start. Vanessa stood beside me, her job complete. The civil case had been settled with prejudice, meaning Royce could never challenge it again. The criminal restitution was satisfied. The protective order remained ironclad for another 9 months. The IRS audit notice went out yesterday, she mentioned casually. His bankruptcy filing next week won't protect him from that. I tucked the deposit receipt into my wallet, feeling the weight of 3 months lift slightly. The October Colorado air outside was sharp with approaching winter. Jules waited by her car, ready to drive me home, not to family dinner, not to explanations or guilt trips, but to my small apartment where silence meant peace, not brewing storm. My phone buzzed. An email from Vanessa with a final invoice marked paid in full and one last document attached to the case closure memo. Everything wrapped in legal finality. What now? Jules asked as we pulled into traffic. Now I buy a house, I said, touching the barely visible scar on my lip. My house, my rules, my life. The next morning, I met with a realtor. By noon, I'd toured 3 properties. The last one, a 2-bedroom craftsman with original hardwood floors and a kitchen window overlooking a small garden, felt like breathing again. The seller wanted a quick close. I had 20% down ready to wire. No contingencies, no family help needed. My phone had been quiet for days. The family group chat disbanded after Royce's guilty plea. Mom's Facebook had gone private. Kellen remained silent. Only Maya occasionally sent single words, "thinking of you," or "stay strong." She'd moved into student housing, working 2 jobs to avoid going home. The closing was set for November 15th. I signed papers in a small title office, accepting keys to a home bought with money that had traveled through assault, lies, courtrooms, and justice to return to its purpose, my future. That evening, Royce's bankruptcy filing hit the local business news. Harlan Outdoor and Fleet closes after 8 years. The article mentioned recent legal troubles and inability to maintain banking relationships. His commercial landlord was quoted about unpaid rent. Former employees complained about bounced paychecks. 3 weeks later, a letter arrived forwarded from my old address. Mom's handwriting, shaky but familiar. "I know you won't read this. Royce is gone left for his brother's place in Wyoming. The house is in foreclosure. I'm moving in with your Aunt Sarah. I'm sorry I didn't protect you. I'm sorry I chose him. I'm sorry for everything." No return address, no request to reconnect, just an ending. I kept the letter in a box with the court documents, the medical records, the audio recording backed up in triple, evidence that it happened, proof that I survived, reminder that family isn't who shares your blood, it's who believes you when you bleed. The scar on my lip faded to a thin white line, visible only when I smiled a certain way. I learned to smile differently, not to hide it, but because I had different reasons to smile now. My house, my job where I was valued, not used. Friends like Jules who showed up. A therapist who helped me understand that fighting back wasn't violence, it was survival. Royce never violated the protective order. His probation officer confirmed he was completing the anger management program. The IRS investigation would take years, but Vanessa heard through legal channels that they'd found enough for criminal tax prosecution. He'd lost everything trying to keep everything. Standing in my kitchen 8 months later, making coffee in the morning light, I thought about that night. How he'd said, "You'll get it when you get it," with such certainty. How Mom stood there and chose his lies over my blood. How quick violence comes and how long justice takes. But I did get it. Every dollar. Plus the knowledge that when someone shows you who they are through their fist, you don't owe them your silence. You don't owe them your forgiveness. You don't owe them anything but consequences. My phone buzzed, Jules texting about weekend plans. Real friends, real life, real peace. The money had come back, but I'd gained something worth more, the knowledge that I could stand up, speak truth, and rebuild even when family tried to bury me in their lies. Outside my kitchen window, the garden was beginning to bloom. Spring in Colorado. Everything growing back stronger after surviving winter. I was too. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I'd love to know where you're listening from. Drop a comment below and let's connect. Please consider subscribing to the channel if this story resonated with you, and share your own thoughts and experiences in the comments. Your support means everything, and I read every single comment. Stay strong, and remember, you deserve to be believed.